Picture this. It's 48 BC, the Roman Republic is tearing itself apart. Two of its greatest generals, once allies, now bitter rivals, are about to face off in a battle that will decide the fate of an empire. On one side, Gnaeus, Pompeius, Magnus, or Pompey the Great, with a massive army, confident in his numbers and the support of the Senate. On the other, Gaius Julius Caesar, outnumbered, undersupplied, and with his back against the wall. This is the story of the Battle of Pharsalus, a masterclass in military genius and a turning point in history. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible military upsets of all time. How did Caesar, with an army less than half the size of Pompey's, achieve such a decisive and stunning victory? Stick around, because the answer is a tale of brilliant strategy, psychological warfare, and sheer audacity. Let's set the stage. After crossing the Rubicon and plunging Rome into civil war, Caesar had chased Pompey all the way to Greece. Pompey had used the time to assemble a colossal force. We're talking about nearly 45,000 infantry and 7,000 cavalry. Caesar, by contrast, had just over 22,000 legionaries and about 1,000 horsemen. The odds were overwhelmingly in Pompey's favor. His advisors were so confident they were already arguing over who would get Caesar's prestigious position as Pontifex Maximus after the battle. They saw this not as a fight, but as an execution. Pompey's plan was simple and on paper foolproof. He would use his massive cavalry advantage on his left flank to smash through Caesar's smaller cavalry force, swing around, and attack Caesar's legions from the rear. This classic envelopment maneuver should have been devastating. Pompey's legions in the center would then just have to advance and mop up the panicked, surrounded enemy. It was a textbook strategy, and with a 7-to-1 advantage in cavalry, it should have worked perfectly. But Pompey made one critical mistake. He underestimated his opponent. Caesar was not just any general. He was a master of reading the battlefield and, more importantly, reading his enemy. He anticipated Pompey's exact move. He knew his cavalry couldn't win a direct fight. So, he did something completely unconventional. Before the battle began, Caesar took 6 cohorts, about 3,000 of his most experienced legionaries, from his third line, and secretly positioned them behind his own cavalry, forming a hidden fourth line. He gave these men specific, and brutal, instructions. When Pompey's cavalry charged, they were not to throw their javelins, their pila, as they normally would. Instead, they were to use them as stabbing spears, aiming for the faces and eyes of the oncoming horsemen. It was a brilliant psychological tactic. Pompey's cavalry was made up of young, wealthy Roman aristocrats. They were proud of their skills, but also proud of their handsome faces. Caesar gambled that the fear of disfigurement would be more terrifying than the fear of death itself, and so the battle began. As predicted, Pompey's cavalry thundered forward, confident of an easy victory. They crashed into Caesar's small cavalry contingent, which, as planned, put up a brief fight before feigning a retreat. This drew Pompey's horsemen in, making them overconfident and breaking their formation. And that's when Caesar sprung his trap. Suddenly, the hidden fourth line of legionaries surged forward. Following their orders, they thrust their pila upwards into the faces of the charging cavalrymen. The effect was immediate and horrifying. The proud Roman knights, faced with the prospect of gruesome facial injuries, panicked. Their charge dissolved into chaos. They turned and fled the field, leaving Pompey's entire left flank completely exposed. Seeing the cavalry break, Caesar committed his final reserves and personally led the charge into the now vulnerable flank of Pompey's legions. At the same time, his main battle line, which had been holding firm, surged forward. Pompey's army, which moments before had been on the verge of victory, was now being attacked from the front and the side. The psychological shock was immense. Their lines buckled, and then they broke. The battle turned into a rout. Pompey, seeing his invincible army disintegrate before his eyes, reportedly rode back to his camp in a daze, utterly defeated. Caesar's victory was absolute. He had not just won, he had annihilated Pompey's forces with minimal losses of his own. The Battle of Pharsalus wasn't just a military victory. It was the moment Julius Caesar cemented his legacy. It demonstrated his unparalleled ability to adapt, innovate, and exploit his enemy's weaknesses. Against all odds, he had proven that in war, it's not always the size of the army that matters, but the genius of its commander. This single battle paved the way for the end of the Roman Republic and the dawn of the Roman Empire. What an incredible story of strategy and nerve. Let me know in the comments what you think was Caesar's most brilliant move. Thanks so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more epic moments from history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We have so much more to come. Until next time.